So thank you for joining. For those who are watching on the replay, thank you for listening. If you're watching on the replay, just type in replay. If you are live, just put a 1 in the comments that you're live. And hopefully you guys can hear me. I think if you didn't, somebody would say something. So, again, here on Friday, I'm happy with myself that I am able to show up, because it's been an interesting week technology wise, but we're here, we made it, and it's all good. We're going into, for most people, a 3-day in the US, a 3-day weekend, 3.5-day weekend for me. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I kept the momentum, kept it going, and came in today, Friday. We are doing our JMCC lives on Fridays, and today was a little bit of a switch. We had to shift it to later in the afternoon for those on the East Coast. For those on the West Coast, it's around noon-ish, noon 30 is what I call it. So you guys are probably be able to join a little bit easier because we shifted the time. So it benefits those on the West Coast, on the East Coast. You guys are probably wrapping up your work day. I know I am. It's been a week. Oh my goodness. And there's so much more to come, so much more to do, but I'm pacing myself. I had a really great conversation with an old friend of mine, a good friend of mine from way, way back, middle school, about pacing ourselves because we have very similar personalities and go, 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 but time to wind down. So really casual Friday. You can see I have my poet shirt on, inspired by one of my favorite shows. I always mess this up. Better Things. So anyhow, so casual Friday, but let's jump into today's topic. We are talking about, staying ready so you do not have to get ready. And it's interesting at least interesting to me, how I thought about that after last week's live that we did. Last week's live was about promotions and getting ready for your promotion. And it was actually called, it's not just an annual event. It's something that you should be preparing for and thinking about regularly, in your daily tasks and responsibilities, to make sure that you're top of mind. But mainly it's about preparation. And so as I was thinking about that and thinking about something that I'm working on for you guys, and I'll mention that at the end, it's all about preparation. And just if I sit back and think about what I do as a whole, in every aspect of coaching, it is about preparation, at least for me with my clients, and what they come to me for, because I'm helping them through challenges and issues, but it's also about preparing them on how to best deal with that next time that issue or challenge comes around, or the next level they want to get to, preparing them for that. And also for those who are in their careers and in a position that they love, but are still having challenges, how to help them get through that. I think I mentioned that, but when you're starting a new position, that's what I meant to say. When you're starting a new position, preparing yourself for your first 30, 60, 90 days and beyond. How do you do that? So a lot of what I do is about preparation. It's about preparing people. And so for those who are new to me, let me take a step back. I like to say that. Let me take a step back. I am Jackie Mitchell from Jackie Mitchell Career Consulting, and I help and work with and coach and support and guide early to mid-career professional women who are looking to level up. So whether that be looking for a new opportunity, looking to help them level up in the position that they're in, helping them get promotions, raises, things like that, and helping them to just really get to that next level of whatever they deem to be a next level for them in their careers. It's helping them to get there. So that's what I do, Jackie Mitchell. So for today's topic, we're talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready. And I had heard Will Smith make that statement, and he may have gotten it from somebody else, but I heard him in particular say that this was years ago. And then just been, kind of hearing it very often. And I said, you know what? Let me do something on that topic, thinking about where we were last week with promotions and getting ready, and then thinking about what I'm working on. I'll tell you guys about that later. And also thinking about, which helped me to kind of think about what I do as a whole in coaching women and helping them to stand in their power. I know that sounds coachy, but really to own their stuff and to own their career and own the direction of where they're going. A lot of it is about preparation. Women come to me because they don't feel prepared for what they are embarking on, or for what they, the next level that they deem for themselves. What does that look like? They don't necessarily feel that they're prepared for it. They feel that something is missing. They know that something is missing because, one, they're either spinning their wheels, not getting to where they want to go. I know that sounds very generic, but that is literally what women have told me. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I feel stuck in what I'm doing in my career, in this position, in this company. I just feel stuck, And so when they're feeling that way, it's typically because, there's something that I need to work on, or there's something that I'm having a challenge with, or there's an issue. How do I move past that? If they knew how to move past that, they would. If they knew, they know where to get guidance and how to get guidance, but they want to know how to get past that. So if they were prepared for certain situations, general situations, specific situations, they would know how to navigate their way through that. So it's about preparation. If you really think about all that we're doing, it's preparing us for this thing. And whenever we get to that thing, there's more preparation for the next thing. And that could be another topic about when do we take a step back and breathe and enjoy. But thinking about I think it was the last podcast episode, I'll check and I'll post it. But one of the last ones that I did recently, if it wasn't the last one, it was the second to last, the next one behind that, about who do I need to become to get what I want. So that thing that you want, that level that you want to be at, why are you not there? Right? Think about, why are you not there? Who do I need to be to get that? If I deem myself as a lazy person, I can't be a lazy person and achieve certain things, achieve most things. So then I would have to become something else. I would have to be something else. I would have to have different types of a different motivation or inspiration to now get that thing, to go after that thing, to do that thing, to take this action. So it's, who do I have to become? That is, how do I prepare to be that person? How do I prepare to take this action? It is literally all about preparation. So I want to dive into this because it's not a lot, but as far as duration, but I talk a lot. This is really quick. These are some really quick tips, but these are really beneficial to you. It is more of an enhancement to what we talked about last week, because I think last week was just the tip of the iceberg. This goes a little bit more deep and more broad, and I'll explain why. So typically, I simplify everything. I don't like complications. I don't like statistics, throwing out statistics. I don't like throwing out all of the just information that does not specifically have to do with what you're dealing with, because I could talk about 85% of these people do this thing or it doesn't matter for you or to you. Specifically to you, what's simplified, what's simplistic, what has to happen for you. So I'm not throwing out you rarely will hear me talk about statistics, throwing out statistics and numbers and this, that, or the other, because I really like to keep it simple. And so in keeping it simple, I have identified 3 phases of anyone's career. Typically you are in one of these phases. And just kind of think about this. There are three phases. You're either looking for a new opportunity, you're seeking a new opportunity, or you are starting a new opportunity. It's kind of intuitive. You're new and fresh in that position. Or you're maintaining where you are, right? You're looking at your performance and wanting to move up and move up. So it's almost cyclical, if that's the word. But if you look at it like circles, I wish I had a whiteboard. Oh my God, we got to figure out a way to do it. Probably behind me. But yeah, if you had that and you're just looking at each phase, you would be between mainly, probably in all of them. I don't know if that's valid, but in maintaining, looking at where you are and possibly thinking about additional opportunities. So a lot of times what I see and where people are when they come to me, they're in that maintaining phase and or looking for a new opportunity. Sometimes in that maintaining, it turns into looking for a new opportunity, and we pivot and we work on that. Or they come to me where they are looking for this new opportunity, and I help them through that. And then there's the first 30, 60, or 90 days, really the first 90 days in the new opportunity. I help them for that. And that looks very different than someone who has been in a position for over a year, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Maybe not in that same position, but in that role, right? That looks very different. It also looks very different when someone comes to me, they've just recently gotten a promotion or elevated their career, if you will, and they're looking to make sure that they're performing at top peak. Athletes do it all the time, right? How do you get far? You get a coach, and help to get you where you want to be. But so those are the different levels. Those are different phases, I should say. You're seeking a new opportunity. You are in your first 90 days of a new opportunity, or you're maintaining and looking to get to that next level within the company. That's one thing. And then seeking opportunities outside. So you see where it could kind of, you're somewhere in one of those three phases. And there may be an overlap between maintaining and looking. So within those phases, and just looking at that as a whole, you have to think to yourself, how do I prepare for any one phase? How do I prepare to move from one place to a next place, next phase? How do I prepare for that, right? And so that's what I'm talking about. We have to get so real with ourselves, because I want to break this down into those three phases. And I'm going to pick on this one in particular, where people are seeking a new opportunity. That's the phase that I see most. What's the word for it? This may be a longer session. What's the word am I looking for? Oh my gosh. I freestyle all of this. I do take notes, but I do freestyle. So when I say freestyle, it's like, okay, Jackie, you got to think. I do write down some notes. So when people are seeking, this is what word I'm looking for. When people are seeking a new opportunity in that phase of their careers, that is probably the most overwhelming and stressful time that I have seen, because there could be many different variables. The most stressful where I've seen, and I've experienced it too in the past, is when you are not working and you're looking for a position, or, and there's even variables behind that. But it's very stressful. It's very overwhelming. And a lot of times people will do things out of desperation, make decisions based on fear and desperation and just not knowing any better because of the limited information that they have at that time. They're making decisions and they're not ready, right? You will hear me say this. You will hear a lot of other people say this. And some of you may not agree with this way of thinking. This has served me very well in my 25 plus years working in corporate America. I learned this just entering mid-career. So maybe going into year 5, 6, somewhere 7. If I look at a span of that time. I'm laughing. So what was I saying? Okay, so going into that this thing is what people will tell you, and if you're going through it, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, how can you say that? How can you say that? That's not true, but you've probably heard this, so let me just get to it. The best time to look for a new opportunity or new position is when you're in one. That is the best time to do that. You want to be prepared in so many aspects, in so many ways, mentally, physically, just your mindset. We talk about mindset all the time. But the preparation that comes with that and for that. Sometimes you may find yourself unexpectedly out of a job. When you have prepared the right way, you typically don't worry about that. And when I say don't worry, there's so many aspects to it. I do know that. But when I say don't worry, it's like you're not trying to rush to get stuff together. You're not trying to rush to reach out and do all of these things. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of action when you're not prepared. And sometimes that action is it's futile. It's like it's not getting you where you want to go. It's not yielding the results that you need. Because you may be in a fear-based thinking, lack. If you're thinking, desperation because you're not in a job, you want to find one. I need one right away, and I need to do this, and I need to do that. But the whole area around preparation, let me slow down and take it step by step, because it is a lot, but it's not that much. So the whole area around preparation, when you're looking for a new job, the best time to look for a new job is when you're in one. And like I said, you will hear me say that over and over again. And I say that because, one, if you look at it from the employer, potential employer, they typically will hire someone who is currently working, someone who is currently in a role. And that's a whole topic, but they will typically hire someone who's currently in a role. When you are currently in a role, whether you like it or not, when you are currently in a role and you're secure with let's say with a paycheck, with compensation on a regular basis, your decisions are going to look and sound different than someone who is not getting a steady paycheck, who is not getting a check at all. And that has been an extended time for them. That desperation, some people will take them to certain places where they're not thinking correctly. And so, and I don't want to say not thinking correctly, where they're not making the best decisions and not making the best choices for them because it's out of fear and desperation. So when you're doing that and there's stress, there's the overwhelm. Think about the times that you make decisions when you're stressed and overwhelmed. Sometimes they're not the best, right? So when you are already in a position, when you're already in a job, the best time to look for a new opportunity or to just look and see what is out there is when you are in a job. The best time to do that is when you're in a job, because you never know. Let's say you're thinking about leaving, you're thinking about it. Well, still prepare, because you never know what is going to happen. You never know what opportunity may be available to you at that time. You always want to be prepared. What if you have a coworker, not a coworker, but someone you know professionally in your network, and they're like, you know what, I think you'd be really great for this new opportunity. It is higher level. It's this, it's that, it's whatever. Send me your resume. And you're like, holy shit, I don't have my resume ready, or I don't have a resume. Now I got to get it ready and I got to spend time with doing this and that. And this opportunity may not wait for you. That's why you want to be prepared, because opportunities are not going to wait for you. So for that in particular, you want to make sure that you're ready for it. You're prepared for it. It's very interesting, because I have talked to people prior to them becoming clients with me. And I'll have conversations with people all the time. I don't hold back any information. Those who know me know that I don't hold back. I give, give, give. And it baffles me sometimes when people say, oh, I don't know this and I don't know that. It's like, hey, I given you that. You have all the information. Check the blog, check this, that. But yeah, it's really interesting because people will come to me and say that they want to look for another job, but they're going to wait to look for another job because they're really busy right now, or there's this, whatever is going on. They have so many things going on, or what, for whatever excuse they give. And I said, okay, you have to start to quantify things for things to really sink in. So if you're looking for a job, typically, and it depends on the level, because the higher level you go, the longer time that it typically, the duration it will take to secure that new position. That's something you want to think about. It may take a longer time depending on the level you're at. Typically, and I'm just doing averages, and like I said at the very beginning, I am not throwing out statistics and all of that foolishness. It doesn't matter to you. But typically, it takes a good 3 months, and I break my year out into quarters. That's a quarter, one whole quarter. It typically takes 3 months, and that is minimum, to get another opportunity, to get another job, to secure another job. Typically 3 months from the time you're sending out resumes to the time that you may get an offer. That's a very, for some people it's a very long time. For some people, they're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. Typically it's those who are already working. But if you really think about it, let's just say 3 months. And so you want to look for another job, it's 3 months. But then you say, you know what, I'm going to wait until, let's say 3 months. You need 3 months. That's 6 months now. You got to look at when you start to when you actually get an offer. So let's just say that 3 months of what it takes to find a job. And then you say, you know what, I'm going to wait. You now need to shift the whole timeline, that amount of time. So every day you add to it, that's a day it extends. I hope that makes sense to you. That's a little bit of a project management type thing, but it's really basic and simple. If you're going to wait 3 months to start looking for a job that takes about 3 months to get, you're looking at 6 months. I want that to sink in for some people, because a lot of times people are not thinking about that. And I'm being really conservative with the 3 months, because that is the minimum. Like I said, the higher you get in positions, the longer it will take, because you're going to be talking to more people. You're going to be, there's different kinds of interviewing. Looks very different when you ascend. It looks very different. Trust me, I know. It looks very different. Sometimes they're not traditional. You gotta, and you're trying to get on calendars with VPs and presidents of companies. That's not easy. 3 months is not a long time. It's not a lot of time, right? It may be a longer time for you to get on someone's calendar. So you want to think about that. So that's why when I say the preparation starts way in advance. So I'm not saying that once you get a new job, now you're looking for the next one. I'm not saying that. But if you are, I'm going to throw this out, and this is something that we definitely need to talk about. If you are in your current position, and you guys are probably going to throw darts at the screen, reality check. You can ask anyone in HR. They're probably not going to tell you. I am not from the HR background. I am a real person who has worked on projects, executive project management, all of the above, in that realm. And I've been the hiring manager. I've put teams together, hired teams. So very interesting. If you have been in your position, and I'm going to be conservative with this one as well, for more than 3 years at the same company, you are underpaid. Period. You're underpaid. That's it. There is no argument. If you've been in that same company Regardless if you've gone up in position and gotten raises, if you've been in that same company for 5 years, you're severely underpaid. Trust me on that one. You don't have to trust me on that one. You can do the research. And there's reasons why behind it. And I think that's going to be another topic for another day, right? So that kind of all goes back to the best time to prepare when you want to look for another job. The best time to prepare is when you are in your current position, period. You want to shrink the time. So if you say, you know what is this? May, let's say it's June, July, August, September, October. I want to, really be in a new position by October. You need to be starting from now. And actually, you're behind the 8 ball, right? You have to give yourself that time and that runway because you have to have your tools ready. And your tools are, your resume, your LinkedIn profiles, your things like that has to be ready. You have to be ready. You have to know how to interview. A lot of people don't know how to interview. You have to know how to interview. You have to prepare. All of these things are preparation. So in today's topic, when do you prepare? You just need to you have to prepare yourself. And how do you do that? And I'm going to give you the things to walk through I'm going to give you the steps on how to make sure that you're prepared or not, right? So when you're looking for a job or seeking a new opportunity, the best time to do that is when you're currently in a job. For those who may be out of work, and you're looking at the landscape right now, it's typically 3 months, 3 to 6 months. And sometimes it's longer. And I've seen where it has taken longer. In those instances, there are a lot of variables behind it. And I have helped people where they've come to me and within I want to say within 3, 4, 6, and nothing is guaranteed. It all really depends. A lot of variables. Things speed up because now they know how to do things a little bit better. They know how to do things a little bit more efficiently, faster, more strategic. When you work with someone who has already done this and has had success and can have proven success on that, right? So you want to just really make sure that you're prepared. Last week, let's move on to the next one. Last week, we talked about promotions, and that's what I'm going to talk about now. The preparation for that. You're doing that months and months in advance. In the, I have an ebook on that. In that ebook, I talk about you want to be prepared 6 months in advance. You can't bump up on that performance date, review date, and 2 or 3 weeks out, think that you're going to get all your shit together and all these metrics and all of that, and you're going to be ready, or the week before, the weekend before. That doesn't work like that. There's such a thing about expectations and setting expectations with your manager, and you having expectations that were set between the two of you. So that is all based on conversations that are happening throughout the year. It's not a one-time thing. So there's preparation with that as well. You have to be ready. You have to be ready for it. The next thing, the third one, based on the 3 phases. And so for those who just joined, the 3 phases of any career, the first one is seeking a new opportunity. The 2 was maintaining and leveling up in an opportunity or in your current role. And the third one is your first 90 days in any new responsibility or new opportunity. So that your first 90 days is phase 3. Actually, it's phase 2. But that one, in talking about that one, where you have the experience and you have the skill, are you prepared though when this job calls for someone to hit the ground running? Are you prepared for that? Do you need ramp up time? Being a project manager, and if there's anyone on here who's been a project manager or worked on projects, you know what it's like when someone needs ramp up time on a project. It's bullshit. It's needed, but it slows things down. And now, there's a lot of risk introduced into your project. But if we're not even talking about projects, if we're talking about just getting into a new role, the expectations that are set sometimes have been, can this person hit the ground running? And if you have said and given, what's the word? Given examples of how you've done that in the past and how you can do that for this opportunity, you better damn well be sure that on day one, you can hit the ground running. Because if you cannot, you have just ruined your entire credibility with your new manager, potentially your peers and your team, with your team and your colleagues. People will not trust you. They will not like you. They will not, it'll be hard for them to work with you if you lose credibility with them. That's a big situation, right? And you want to protect your professional, your professional, oh my goodness, today's Friday. What am I thinking? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. Reputation, your professional reputation. This poet has no words today. I don't know what's happening. Oh my gosh. But you want to protect your reputation. Speaking of reputation, oh my gosh, you guys are going to think I'm crazy. It's Friday. It's been a crazy day, crazy week. Anyhow, but you want to protect your reputation. If you said you can hit the ground running, you damn well better be sure that you hit the ground running. But here's the big but. How have you prepared for that? How have you prepared for that in the past? How did you prepare for that for this new role? So everything is about preparation. Are you ready? You need to make sure you're ready so that you're not rushing to get ready, so that you don't have to get ready. Like, that is just really simple and basic in the concept. Get ready so that you can stay ready, so that when the opportunity hits, when the opportunity knocks, you are ready to jump in. You're ready. You're there. Someone says, Jackie, send me your resume. Okay. There you go. Now that's different than send me a proposal. That's something totally different. You have a foundation, but there's other things involved with that. But I'm talking strictly about in your career, job, and your opportunities like that. Send me your resume. Okay, my resume is up to date. You may just do a few little tweaks here and there, but it's not, oh shit, I need to now send out my resume, or let me call Jackie. Hey, can you do? No, that's not what we do. That's not what we do. We're not doing that rush, because oh my gosh, my grandmother used to say, haste makes waste. And it's so true. I didn't understand it when I was younger, but I understand it now. It's very true. You want to be prepared for things in your life, because you don't want to miss good and great opportunities. And I want you to think about it. If you really get honest with yourself and think about how many opportunities you missed because you were not prepared. I know I have missed several opportunities because I was not prepared. When I was an employee, right? I missed many opportunities because I just wasn't prepared, whether it was because I didn't take it seriously, or I thought I can get my stuff together and it just didn't happen, So I've kicked myself many times because I'm like, shit, I should have had my stuff ready. I should have had this ready. I had someone come to me about something many years ago, and he was like, send me your resume. And my resume, I hadn't even touched it in so long. And I think it took maybe 2 days for me to send it to him, and he passed and he went on to someone else because I didn't send it. And it was a really good job. So, I learned my lesson from that. And so just kind of think about that. Even if it's not in your career, what are some of the things that you've passed up because you just weren't ready? And so it's good to stay ready for things that we say we want. If I want to be this, have this thing, am I ready to get it? Am I ready to do the work for it? Or am I in a position where I'm not running after it, but it's kind of coming to me? Is it even going to come to me? Typically, things will not come to you if you're not ready for it. Like you really have to, and I really believe in energy, like you really have to be ready for it. And that's a whole different topic, but just being ready for opportunities is really what I'm talking about today. And I want to leave you guys with these 3 things to do. And I just kind of talked about it already, but being prepared, staying ready so that you don't have to get ready. You have to do a self-assessment. You got to take a step back. You really have to take a step back and do a self-assessment. So let me slow down a little bit because I talk fast. For those who don't know, I am Jamaican. I am from Brooklyn, and this is what we do. We talk fast. No, it's all in fun. So you want to take a step back, and let me breathe, and do an assessment. And what type of assessment? And I wrote them down because I told you I write down things, some things. I freestyle a lot though. You want to look at your tools, your skills, and your background, right? So regarding tools, your resume definitely is one of them. Like I said, your online presence, your professional presence online. You want to make sure of that. And if you've interviewed, how you've interviewed, like I said, if you've interviewed a long time ago, you really want to know, how are my interview skills? This is what I wanted to say. How are my interview skills? You want to make sure that, or one of the things you want to think about is, and you've heard people say this, what's gotten you here won't get you there. And that is so true. So if you've interviewed before and you did okay, and now you want to up level, there's different ways, different tactics, different things to do, and very strategic, and you have to know your stuff, right? So you want to take an assessment on the tools you have available to you, and are you ready to now share them? If you have to go and get ready, that opportunity may pass you by, right? So you want to make sure of that. You want to take an assessment. In addition to that, and kind of talking a little bit on that, expanding that, having your tools sharpened and ready to use, i.e., is your resume ready to go? Also, are you ready to interview? I also had a situation. I have so many, but Jackie, I want to set, oh my goodness, I remember this. This is a gentleman that I worked with in Texas, and he was like, I want you to meet someone. And I'm like, who, what, where, what, when? This person is available on Friday. Mind you, this was like a Wednesday. This person is available on Friday. He's really busy. He's this, that, the other. I think you guys would really hit it off professionally. It was about an opportunity. Ended up not doing it because it was out on the West Coast. It was kind of remote, but you still had to fly in. But at that time, I couldn't. So anyway, he's like, he's available Friday. Let's have a chat. And I'm thinking to myself, holy whatever. And I had to take a step back and I said, okay, I know how to do this. I got this because I've recently gone through something very similar. I kind of know what they're looking for. I'm ready for it. I'm confident in myself. So I'm ready. There wasn't much that I had to do to get ready. So just in the vein of that, thinking about what are the things that there may be a little bit of a gap, right? And where do you need to fill that gap? So those things you want to think about. Handing over your resume, having quick conversation, interview skills, or if it's an introduction, you want to make sure. And also sharpening your tools, ready to use. That's more around skills. What are some of the skills as well that you're bringing with that? So you just want to really take an assessment of where you are at any particular time. You want to look at like I said, with your skills, you want to look at your skill set and expanding your skill set. Where do I want to go? What do I need to do to get there? Again, preparation. You definitely want to make sure you're prepared. So just to wrap up, taking an assessment, you want to do that. How do you stay ready? How do I know if I'm ready? I'm going to take this assessment. And that assessment really is very simple. You want to look at your resume. You want to make sure that you're comfortable having conversations, whether it's an interview or a quick introduction. You want to make sure that you're comfortable and confident and competent in having those conversations. Are you ready for that? The other thing you want to think about as far as assessment and tools and skills, and this is where the two go together, are you able to hit the ground running? Are you able to hit the ground running? If they need someone to hit the ground running, are you able to do that? If the answer is no, and you're very truthful to yourself, with yourself, what are the things that you need to do to be able to hit the ground running? Right? So you want to think about that as well. What's your experience? What's your background? What are the transferable skills that you have that can apply here? Right? But then you have to think of it at another level if it is a higher level position. So taking an assessment is number one. Number two, having your tools sharpened and ready to use, readily available. You know what you need to do. You have them. You're ready to go. Right? And sharpen and expand your skill set. If you do see a gap, sharpen and expand your skill set. Take classes that you need to take. Excuse me. Take the classes that you need to take. Career development, trainings, in your company that you work with. You want to check with the learning and development department. They may have things readily available for you. Online is a wealth of information, so there's really no excuse. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars typically to gain additional skills, especially some soft skills. There's a lot, especially now in today's environment, there's a lot of free trainings online that are very, very good. So you want to look at those things and be honest with yourself. Am I prepared for that next level of whatever it is that next level is that you have for yourself? Are you prepared for it? You know, what do you, like I said in the podcast, who do you need to become to get what you want, right? Staying ready so you do not have to get ready. That is really key to helping yourself advance. And I'm not saying that you would know absolutely everything and everything is neatly tied in a bow. Sometimes it's not, but at least if you know, okay, I have this, I'm ready for now this thing. If I'm not ready for this thing, where do I now get the help to get me ready for that thing? You know? So I wanted to leave you guys with that. I thought this would be a quick chat. I guess not. We're all good. It is Friday. What I wanted to say before I go. So I have been working on something really interesting, really great. There's a link in the description, and it is working with professional women early to mid-career. And I am doing a free masterclass on June, let me not mess this up, June 6th at 2:30. That is next Sunday, not Sunday coming up, but June 6th at 2:30. There will be a link in the description in both places. Grab a seat to that. It is going to be limited. I am doing a deep, deep dive. If you guys find any of this, what I'm talking about today and in the previous JMCC lives, if you find value in any of that, whether it relates to you, a teammate, or someone that you may know, please pass it on to them. But if you find value in that, I'm going even deeper in how to stay ready, get ready, and how to show up boldly in your career in any of those three phases. And so I'm going to be breaking, didn't I tell you I talk fast? I'm going to be breaking down those three phases and giving you the exact strategies that I give to my clients, that I work with my clients on to help them to get to that next level in any of those three phases in your career. So that is free. FREE, free. I am doing a free training masterclass where I am going live It is a live training. You can ask questions. We're doing a Q&A section. You can definitely ask questions. So you have me there. I really encourage you to sign up for that training. If you know anyone who is seeking to advance in any of those 3 areas, they definitely don't want to miss this, because it's going to be good. 2, I'm going to have some really great things in there for you guys. And 3, you are able to Q&A with me, ask me questions. It's going to be live on June 6th. So join it live. I cannot promise a replay, but join it live where you can ask me all the questions that you want. And that is June 6th at 2:30. I hope I'm not messing up the time, but I am putting a link in the description in Instagram, a link in the description on Facebook, and you'll see that all over. It's on June 6th. I will post more about that. But the link in the description is where you sign up, and you will get definitely much more information that I'm giving you here, because I want to wrap it up. It is 4:20 on a Friday. Thank you guys who are watching on the replay before June 6th. Get that. Get your spot, secure your spot. It's going to be limited, but because I am doing a Q&A where you can ask me questions. If you find these lives and my content valuable, I'm doing the free live on June 6th. I am super excited about it, where we will have the Q&A where you guys can ask me questions. We can talk. I can see you, the whole 9. It is a free masterclass on, again, June 6th, 2:30. So 2:30 Eastern. I am in Florida. So guys, I'll post that here on Facebook, here on Instagram. Have an awesome rest of your Friday and an awesome weekend. Be safe and have a great weekend. And do not forget, stay ready so you do not have to get ready. Bye, everyone.